Hi friends, David here from Above AVL and Learn Stage Audio. And in this video, I want to show you how to set up a mix fast. So say something went wrong. You had to swap in a backup mixer and you didn't have a file for it. You walk into a gig where you've been told that rehearsal starts at 5, but turns out the event starts at 5 and you are walking in, completely fresh, plugged in your stuff. What do you do next to make a mix happen, make it sound as good as it can, and make it happen really fast? That's what we're going to go over in this video. When it comes down to it, mixing in kind of a battle type situation where you've just been thrown an input list, it's in the console, and now you've got to mix, means that you've got to make some quick assumptions. Okay. The biggest thing is, if you can, getting on stage and having the microphones in good places, making sure that you've got microphones with good mic positions, pointing at their appropriate instruments, that you've got vocalists using good mic technique. That, above everything else, is going to accelerate this process faster than anything else. But after that, what do you do? I've gone ahead here and I've got this DM3 from Yamaha. I've got 16 channels of audio from a church service in it. And we're going to walk through the basics of getting set up. So, headphones on. First things first that we're going to do is go ahead, and I think we've got gain levels set, but we're just going to go channel by channel. And my priorities are going to be stuff that you can't hear. So, drums you probably can hear in the room, leave them for last. Start with vocals, start with melody instruments, and then go from there. Okay, first thing we're going to do is just set a rough gain and level across every channel, and we're going to do it fast. So push it up. Boom. I don't think there's even anything on this channel, but I'm going to go ahead, set a gain. Yeah, there's nothing here. Channel 2, set a gain. 3, set a gain. 4, set a gain. And I think you guys can hear this. Looks like it's coming in a little bit hot, so I'll turn it down to you guys. Seems like it doesn't want to be quite that hot. Boom. Next, set a gain. Next, set a gain. Next, set a gain. Set a gain. Next thing, as we're doing this, we're going to go ahead, label stuff. Okay, so it's like, okay, I don't see anything there. Next, we're going to go ahead, if we've got time. Boom.
Lord, we bow in reverence before you. For you are
Vocal 1.
Lord, there is no one above you or beside you.
Enter.
You are the only one who is worthy of our praise. So, Lord, we give you.
We're just going to call this 2 because we're going fast.
You give us a deeper understanding of.
That also looks like a vocal. Of course, the band's not playing. Don't remember what that was. I believe that's acoustic guitar. We're going to go back a little, just in time. All right, so that's an electric guitar. That's an acoustic guitar. So quick, just AG, EG, EG, bass. Get everything labeled super quick. Then I know I've got some keys. Got some other keys, not even gonna label them, just gonna bring them in low. And then I think I've got snare. I think I've got kick, snare, and overheads. So again, just, we're running up against the clock. We know we don't have a lot of time to get a good mix going, so I'm just giving quick labels. Awesome, just gonna put the drum super low, not even gonna put the overheads in it. Now, where do we go from here? Okay, so now we're going to push them all
I
up,
sin, nothing
making
but the
sure we've got
blood
vocals a little bit
of
higher than everything else so that they're
Jesus.
intelligible, usually the cornerstone of
What
pretty much any mix.
can make me whole
And then we're going to rock through. Now,
again?
depending on your setup and what kind of deal it is, if you're in a rehearsal, then yeah, bring things up channel by channel. If you're not in a rehearsal, then you're going to have to leave channels up and work on sweetening things as you go. Now, if we've got good mic position, if we've got singers who are singing well into mics, and generally things are placed well, the only thing we need to do to get a good mix going is not to deal with perfection, not to think about that, but is high pass filters and removing anything really harsh or obnoxious out of EQ. Okay, so hit and
Nothing
play.
but the blood of
Got this vocal, boom.
Jesus,
So go back to
and
our EQ. Just gonna
oh,
pull it up nice and big.
precious
High pass in.
is the
Next
flow
vocalist.
that makes me white
Bring in the high
as
pass.
snow.
Don't be afraid
No other
at first to high pass a
knows
little bit high
I know.
on instruments
Nothing
because
but
that's
the
just gonna make
blood
everything clear.
of
If it sounds too thin, you can always go back and pull things back. So we're literally gonna go get into the next song.
What can
We've got these
wash
electric guitars again. You know, high
away
passes get
my
rid of noise from
sin?
stuff on stage,
Nothing but the
etc. Of
blood
course, on a bass,
of
we're not going to use it. So we're just going to leave that
Jesus.
flat.
What can make me
And then just
whole
input by input, give it a listen.
again?
You know, push
Nothing
it
but
up,
the
high
blood
pass it appropriately.
of
Push it up,
Jesus.
high pass it appropriately.
And
Boom,
oh,
kick, not going to probably be a
precious
high pass on that.
is the
Snare,
flow
we're going to high pass it up super high
that
because we just want it to
makes
snap
me
through.
white
Overheads we
as
can bring in.
snow.
Awesome. Now we're mixing. So at this point, once you've got that going on, now it's time to mix with the faders. If you hear anything EQ-wise that is really driving you bonkers, EQ it out. Otherwise, you can get a really good mix going. Like if I skip ahead into this next song, so I know we've got a full band in this next song. Here we go. So now we've got a full band going. Let's go ahead. Vocals on top. Lead instrument. Oop, I might be killing you guys. Sorry, on the output side. Doing it more for my ears. Electric's a little hot. Gonna find who's leading on the vocals. Find out who's behind. Pop in a little filler.
Above all thrones and dominions, all power.
And then as you can probably hear, this mix is really starting to come together.
It stands above them all.
For a modern worship mix, we pretty much got something pretty acceptable dialed in, and at least on the record timer, we're only at 8 minutes and 27 seconds, probably a little shorter in the time of yours. Can a mix be thrown together this fast? Yes, it can. Okay, when you're in a hurry, when you don't have a lot of time, okay, the biggest keys are going to be boom, assuming you're not doing monitors, you're getting those gains right. If you're doing monitors, insert that step of getting the monitor levels right after gains, then high passes. Don't worry about EQ, just high passes. Okay, worry more about mic placement and technique and high passes. Getting output set up, making sure things like bass are going to the subs if they need to be. And then after that, run some basic panning if you want to, and move the faders, okay? Because that's what's gonna get you in under 10 minutes, a really solid mix that honestly can be a good percentage of the way there. Later on, if you have time, as you're feeling the room and things are, things are getting dialed in, then you can worry about EQing things. You can worry about compression. You can bring in some effects. But the first things you want to worry about first is rather than trying to take like one channel and just make everything absolutely perfect, get the basics down. Good gain, good high pass filters, and good fader levels. If you start there and honestly use just those three tools, you can put together a really solid mix that is like 80 to 90% of the way there, and then just sweeten afterwards. Hopefully, this video was interesting to you, whether you've been in this situation before or not. It can really be a great way to look at things to think, okay, if I was in a hurry, if I was in a situation where I need to move really fast, how would I do it? And to have a plan for those times when the unknown, the bad things happen. Because then you'll find you don't panic, you stay calm, and you're able to deliver a really great mix and make it so that whoever's in charge of you doesn't know or sees that, hey, you know what? They were thrown in a bad situation, but they were able to make it really awesome. If that sounds good, thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you here. Be sure to subscribe. We want to grow this channel, help more people get some great content about audio. And then, whenever you need any audio gear, video gear, lighting gear, hit us up at aboveavl.com. Not only do we have tons of brands listed on our site, but we also have so many great brands that we can get, and we'd love to quote it all out to you. So email us at gear@aboveavl.com. We'll put it on the screen, and then add things to your cart, request quotes. We're here to help you. We've got a whole team of technicians that are none of them have a sales background, and we just love to help people find the right stuff, and get it into your hands. If that sounds good, we'll see you guys there. Thanks.